late Thursday, even Friday. We can write it up on Thursday or Friday. And okay, so welcome. Autherine is at a closing and they're waiting for funding. So that's always a good thing when you get to that point. So she's got money coming in today. It's a good day to start off the week. Just FYI, Mondays are not necessarily the easiest days to close on. I always have funding issues on Mondays. Don't know why. So anyway, we're glad that you're here to learn about, can you do me a favor? Can you unmute yourselves and start your video so I can see your smiley faces, please? Thank you. I don't care what you look like. We all are in the whole COVID grunge. It's okay. It's all good. So today we're here to talk about ramp up and what it means and what our kind of the overview of what our program is going to be like, and to understand more about expectations and what we're going to be doing moving forward. Okay, so all of you know that Bold starts tomorrow, and Bold is on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4 our time, and then they have a coach's corner that's also on Wednesdays and Fridays from 2 to 4 our time. The coach's corner is going to be more of a interactive where you can ask the coach questions and respond versus being taught at like the Bold will be. So Bold is more of a, not so much interactive. They do have, sorry, they do have a chat bar where people are putting in information, and I promise you with a lot of people on there, it scrolls really fast and you can get like sucked into watching that and not focused on the material. But some of that is some really good information as well. A lot of the side, and if I couldn't find a way to get rid of it. I finally had to just like focus on the people, because that's where the material and really focus on buyer consultations and listing presentations. There's going to be several options where they're going to show you examples of those with the scripts. And they also, as usual with Bold, are going to focus on mindset, on budget, on a lot of other things. So questions about Bold right now?
Yeah, Julianne, so I thought they said today we could pull down part, and then I couldn't find it though. I didn't know what we should be printing out. Well,
let's look and see together, shall we? All right, so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to find Facebook. We are very happy at our house. My husband had a client who was not only FHA, but Georgia Dream. We had a deadline to get him under contract by August 11th. But of course, with Georgia Dream, it is a longer process. We have put in 6 offers and multiple offer every single time and gotten beat out. And we are going under contract today on a house that they bought as a Georgia Dream, and they wanted to pass on that opportunity to somebody else. So they're choosing us because we are Georgia Dream. I am a very happy girl right now.
That's great.
You are?
Yes.
Good.
All right, here's Bold Pivot.
Mm-hmm.
So all of you that have registered should have received your email, and on it had a reference number, and you need to go into Facebook and make sure that you have requested to join this, and they're going to ask you for that There's our schedule at a glance. Find units on the new Facebook look. Welcome to Bold. Let's see what this one looks like.
Jeez, man.
Here it is. So it's under units.
Yeah.
Find units on this new Facebook look. Here it is, Bold Pivot.
I thought it was me. That's why I was like, maybe and I knew I was supposed to go to units, but I even went to files, but.
Yeah, I went and looked earlier.
Unit section.
Well,
that's where I'm at, right?
Yep. Oh, what was that to the right? Go back, Julianne. There was something to the right. Over here. Oh,
Bold contest file, Bold at a glance. Agent schedule,
No,
contest
okay.
flyer.
Yep.
Let me see more.
And then those looked all old. I saw all those.
Yeah, that's old stuff.
Yeah.
Since it said 24 hours, it might be on like an automatic upload, so it might literally be in an hour.
Oh,
This
gotcha.
is true. I mean, it's really not starting for an hour, so you're probably right, Mackenzie. That's a good point. It should be on there within the hour. So by the time we're done, those units should be there. So if you were, there's two things that you can do, folks. You can, let me unshare your screen. You can choose to download it and print it, although it's a lot of pages. Or you can print it as a PDF and have it open on your computer so that you can scroll through it, put your Facebook on one side and your document on the other. On video, start your video so I can see you guys, please, your pretty faces. Okay, so a few of you have, a few of you. All right, so what are your major concerns, questions that you have about your bold experience?
I did it in May, or
Yeah.
the last one. I have not signed up for this one yet. So, I hear what you're saying. There's going to be some changes, and I know they're updating the process. I did find the scrolling distracting, so I would want to try to just not look at that because it was a lot.
Yeah, especially when you see people that are joining halfway through, and then that pissed me off that they would just join in at any time. So you just have to block that. No, going in, you've got to block that away, and then you can concentrate just on the instructions. Okay?
Great.
Accountability, but what I'd like to do is create accountability within our group so that we're holding each other accountable to what we want to grow and learn during this time. So my question to you is, during this, I want to do it two different ways. You're going to be in bold for 4 weeks. Okay? I'd like to know what your expectation is of how many pieces of business, new business, you're going to have by the end of August, and what your anticipation is from September and October. So for a total of the 3 months, how many pieces of business will you have by the end of October? And when you have your number, somebody go first.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I hear you. Ivan, go for it.
10
total or 10 in August?
in total.
10 total. And how many by the end of August?
End of August, 3.
3.
Sorry. My dog is squeaking his ball right by me. For August 3 and total 8.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Look at you with your long hair, Millie.
Julianne, it's Joanna. I'm going to say 2.
Regina?
I'm going to say 1 and 5.
1 and 5. Okay. And David?
So I haven't signed up yet, and I wanted to come on, Julianne, just to kind of see if I was ready or not. But and this is saying number of new closings or number of new clients or number of, when you say new business?
Number of new clients mean they've signed buyer brokerages and you're moving them to getting them under contract.
Oh, BBAs in August and then BBAs by October?
Not just BBAs, it could be listings signed too. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I would say 10 in August, and then by October, I'd say 20.
Good. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the expectations. So the average person, I mean, when you combine it all together for being in bold, the average individual will get 14 new pieces of business. That's the average that it's been since they started, because the high level of accountability and activity they expect from you during the bold process. They're not asking you to do anything new. They're asking you to do what you need to do, and they explain why. So it works out really, really well. Now, you have to understand, this will be my 7th time taking bold since I joined in real estate in 2012. I get new business and I up my activity every single time I take it, which is why I continue to take it. So the information does not necessarily change that much, but what does change is what I'm hearing at the right time. So something will trigger in my mind and I'll be like, oh my God, like hadn't really thought of it before. And every time it's something different, that makes a difference for me, okay? So that's why I take it over and over again. I like the accountability. I want somebody to hold my feet to the fire so that I do more business. And that's really because you're going to be registered in bold, you'll automatically be involved in ramp up. And ramp up is September and October. We will meet once a week from September 1st through October 27th. Tuesdays from 11 to 12. So no interference with team meeting, okay? It will be on Zoom, and it's going to be a mastermind. So here are some of the things that we're going to be covering in our ramp up. First of all, we're going to be holding each other accountable to these numbers that we've just said, where we're at and where we need to go, and what we need to be doing, okay? We're going to have, it's good to get a different perspective and mix it up. So we'll be mixing up our script partners. We'll also be, we're going to be reading the Shift book. I hope that you all have this. If you do not have Shift, you should go ahead and purchase it. I don't care if you do audiobook or you do it a hard copy. They have these on Amazon. I think you can even get it on Audible right now for a free download of your reading pages. And then we're going to have discussions on the information. Because we are in the middle and are continuing to move into shifts, different shifts, we need to be prepared. So that's why we're reading this particular book. Okay? Questions about that? If you've been in Fast Track before with us, our book discussion ended up more like a book report, and I don't want a book report. This is a conversation around this material. That's what it's supposed to be. So asking good questions and coming up with, hey, what did you think about this? It's more of a discussion than anything else. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, that's really what it's about, is discussing the book and how it's relevant to us in our lives right now, okay? Then, we're also going to be having masterminds around different topics. For example, you know, I always focus on how to overcome handling objections. We may even have some fun contests that we could do while we're practicing our scripts and handling our objections. That's always fun, right, Ivan? It's good practice for us. We will have guest speakers. I've already lined up Courtney Newton, who all of you know is a rock star. She built her business during the last shift. She was the first millionaire real estate agent that I know of that netted $1 million. And she's going to be talking to us about REOs and BPOs. And if you don't know what that is, it's the very reason that you need to be with us, right? Because that's how she made her money during a shifting market, was she was able to tweak and go more into that. So she's going to talk about what that looks like, okay? So we've got some really cool ideas. What other things would be important for you to learn that we could mastermind around? Any ideas? Because I'm open to suggestions. I want to make this very relevant and important for you guys.
I think continuing maybe, there's so much of this that is being offered now with command training, but just continuing to share ideas of how we can use pieces of that to enhance our lead generation and marketing and all of that. I mean, they're constantly adding new things and new elements to it. So
Mandy Patillo, who is joining us but couldn't be here on this call, and she just was able to do some Google ads. She just did a Google ad, and she's got an appointment already for 5 o'clock tonight with a new buyer. Now, so if this goes well, I would love for her to share with us how to do Google ads too. I mean, I've never thought of doing those, so it couldn't hurt, right?
That'd be great.
What else would be important for you? And if you don't know what you don't know and everything is valuable, that's okay too. Right? Any other thoughts? Well, as we're going along, if you come up with something that you can think of and you want to add it to our list, please let me know, and we'll make sure that we try to accommodate you and get that information to the group, okay? Because we want this to be as interactive as possible, okay? Krishna, thanks for joining us. When we started, we talked about our goals for BOLD. So how many new pieces of business do you intend by the end of August, and how many new pieces by the end of October? Are you there?
She says she can't talk.
Oh,
And
can't
she
talk.
put it in the
Okay.
chat.
Got it. All right. So Krishna, if you could just put it in the chat button, that would be fine. Just the numbers for the end of August and through the end of October. All right. Okay. So for BOLD, how many have not registered yet for BOLD besides David? Liz has not, Janice has not yet, okay? All right, so what are your main questions, concerns about BOLD or about this program and what we're doing?
So I'm just going to be completely honest.
Please.
I loved the, hold on now.
Don't worry about the dog, it doesn't bother us.
Okay, sorry. He's very loud. My only concern is I feel like I'm still processing the last round. I feel like I have lots and lots and lots of material and awesome ideas and plans that I still haven't worked my way through from the last one. And so I guess I'm feeling like I'll be overwhelmed or I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of information already from the one I just did. So that's my mentality right now.
How much of it are you currently working on implementing?
Currently, a fraction of it have I implemented. So
maybe you do need to be on, just because this will help you give clarity on what you should focus on.
Yeah, that is possible.
Right?
That is possible.
I mean, let's face it, the opportunity to learn, and I am excited to see how they've tweaked it. I mean, I was excited when we got it online.
Yes.
I was thrilled because I don't like sitting for a whole day. I don't know about y'all, but I can't stand to sit for a whole day. So,
and I know there was a lot of really good information. I probably only went there several times, and I know there was a whole bunch of good information.
Yeah, I think the agents that took advantage of the coaching corners got the most out of it because those are more interactive. In addition to that, that's where she got her biggest bang, was through, brainstorming with some of these other agents from all over the country.
Right.
And remember that it's a great ways to connect to them through chatting or different discussions. Could be really valuable for you later on when you're talking about referrals back and forth. Okay?
Yeah. All good points.
So definitely some good stuff. So I'm curious, what are you hoping, what is the one thing that you're hoping to get out of, BOLD? Anybody?
I'm just hoping that it'll set a little fire underneath my butt to really get going and do scripts more. I think the scripts are good because that's the hardest thing for me right now is scripts. I for lack of a better word, I despise them. So,
and let's talk about that. So what is it about scripts that you hate?
just the fact, I think just picking up that phone and having to go off of a script, which I've made my own scripts off of them, but I know they tell you, oh, stick with the scripts, don't go off the scripts, but I just find them to be a little fake.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So does anybody else feel like the scripts are fake because it doesn't feel like them? That's not the way they talk. Go ahead. Exactly. So the reason is because you don't have them internalized. Okay, you get a script and you practice it until it becomes second nature to you. And once you know it well enough, you internalize it and then you share it as you. Does that make sense? We don't want you to say it exactly word for word. There are certain key things that are really important in those scripts. There are tie downs, there are embedded commands. There's a reason that they're written that way, because they get results. However,
yeah,
because if you're rewriting them and you're needing much success, you got rid of the embedded commands, you got rid of the tie downs and the trial closes and all the good stuff that makes them good. So the key thing about scripts is practicing it until it just becomes second nature to you. Okay?
Yeah.
So thank you for being honest about that, Joanna. And I'm glad we had this discussion. Does that make sense to everybody about why we have to practice the scripts? And it's not enough to just read them. You've got to practice them out loud. You've got to have somebody push and fight you so that you can, continue to go and ask good questions and drill down to be able to overcome any objection. Until you've got that practice, you're not going to be good at it. Okay? Who else? Other expectations? Yeah.
This is Regina.
Hey, Regina.
Hey. Okay. I've just been feeling overwhelmed, and I've had a lot going on, not business-wise, but on the personal side. So I'm looking for just some direction and simplicity. I haven't totally mastered command yet. It's like it's a stop and start thing. So I guess I'm just looking for some structure to get back on the track. I feel like I see the train going by and I'm still flagging it down. So
I understand. It's really easy to get overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
So with command, we have tons of training, and all of that training is videotaped, and we've got it all in the Quantrain, right?
Yes, and I've been looking at that, but then I stopped for a week or two, and as I said, I just had a lot.
Sure, and
so
it's
I'm just
easy.
looking for structure.
Sure. So a good habit to get in the habit of is the Marty Miller 66-day challenges. Those are awesome, and they're short enough that it's one topic, it's one idea. And you can do one a day, or they're small enough you can even do 2 a day.
I think I've seen him on the website, the K1 training. I think I've seen his name there.
Yeah, if you just even go to YouTube channel and just type in Marty Miller's 66-day challenge, they come up. Now there's different versions, and I would stick to the version, because I talked to Carrie about this. I had started 3.0 and now he's on 4.0. So I was going to finish 3.0 and then I was going to do 4.0, because it seemed like to me that he jumped in really fast on 4.0, but I could be wrong.
So are you recommending?
There's a method to his madness. So start with 4.0. If you're starting from scratch, start with 4.0.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
They're really good. And he's really good about explaining it well. By the way, did you know that he has subscribed to our Quantrain YouTube channel? That makes me happy. Yes.
Yes, it should. Well, you guys are good.
We're doing some things right. The fact that he's subscribing to our stuff. So yeah,
Cool.
that makes me happy.
Cool.
All right, some of the rest of you, what are your expectations about what you're getting? And will this have, yes, Ivan?
Yes, definitely will help me more with structure and staying focused.
Absolutely. Okay. So through all of this, talking about structure and discipline, you have to, because you're going to spend 2 hours a day in training. There's expectations that they're going to have of you. You've got to block your time for your lead generation and your script practice. Those two things. And then appointments, because with all this work that you're doing, you're going to need to have those appointments set as well. Okay. What else? Krishna says she feels like she can do better and find more people if she takes more initiative. You're absolutely right. And this is definitely going to help you with initiative and being more proactive in getting business versus it just falling in your lap. So definitely will help you in that way. There's David's pretty face in his bright orange shirt.
Yeah, I had to fix my bed head. I didn't have time to fix bed head yet. So.
At 1:30 in the afternoon, you still had bed head? That's a start.
Oh, it's been a busy morning.
So what would your expectation be, David?
Well, I guess, no, I mean, it's good energy, you know. I think after corporate America, it's, I think the trainings and I Ignite and working with the team and the sales meeting and Kelly does a good job of kind of having the whole team on Slack and the positive energy, and I look for that out of Bold, and like you talked about, the networking piece of it is great. And I think you know, I agree with Julianne. Scripts can be punishing, and they almost depersonalize. And I'm a bit, when I'm doing the scripts, I do feel like it is a bit depersonalized, but I think after you can inject a bit of humor into it, you can get people to, you know, kind of warm up to you a bit more. And then
Exactly.
I think the other thing is just overcoming objections, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I'm going on, like I had a really good week this week, and had 2 houses under contract yesterday, and you know, it's just focusing on the people and not the house.
Mm-hmm.
Just really came through this week to me, you know. So, and just
Sure.
learning things like that from others.
Absolutely. You know, great example of that. In the last Bold that Liz and I were in, the gal who was doing her listing and the listing agreement, or the listing, what was her, do you remember the coach's name with the really short hair?
Michael Ann?
Huh?
Michael Ann?
No, it wasn't Michael Ann. Although she knows, I mean, they all know their scripts really well. But this gal, she did her listing presentation. And as I was sitting there listening, I was so engrossed in her conversation with him, and it came across so natural and concerned. And then all of a sudden I went, wait a minute, this is the script I use. But she made it sound so real and so herself, even though it was the same one that I use. So that's the trick, is that you internalize it to the point where you put your own personality and spin on it. That's what it takes. It's just the intense practice so that it does become you. How about for you, Millie? What do you want to get out of this?
Everyone has touched on all of my issues, structure being one of them. I literally feel like I have like an anxiety when it comes to picking up the phone or approaching somebody for the first time. Like once I get in a groove, I'm okay, but it's just that initial breaking of the ice that that I need to overcome, that I will overcome.
You will overcome. I love that. Positive voice. Exactly. Because you're right. I mean, at first it's uncomfortable, and until we get into a groove, and if you're feeling like it's super uncomfortable, it's because it's just a skill you have not yet mastered. That's it.
But what's
If you're
crazy is I
angry-
never meet a stranger. So it's just
Right.
having to just translate my mindset about it, because, you know, I can be in the grocery store and have a 20-minute conversation with someone about my shoes or what, you know, or whatever.
Right.
And it's transitioning that to real estate, or having that same approach
Exactly.
of just having a friendly conversation with someone.
And that is a mindset. It's like, instead of selling, I'm helping people. That's your first
Right.
one. If you've not made that shift yet, that's a shift you need to focus on.
Right.
I don't sell real estate. I help people find homes. Do you hear the difference between those two?
Yes.
Now, I happen to make a lot of money doing it. Yay. Right? But that's
Right.
not my objective, is to make money. My objective is to
Mhm.
help people find homes,
For sure.
or help people with their real estate needs. And focusing
Yeah.
on that totally changes my mindset. I need leads, right? It's totally
Mhm.
different mindset. I don't need leads. I need people to help. So that's your first
can I help?
mindset switch.
Who can I help today?
Word that gets you excited, whatever that word is. We call it lead gen. I don't care what you call it. I mean, some people call it finding diamonds. I mean, I've heard all different kinds of stuff. As long as you know that that's what you're doing, find the word that gets you excited.
My wife and I alternate calls.
I'm sorry, say that again?
My wife and I alternate calls
Okay.
when we're calling, so that we can listen to each other's conversations with clients or potential leads.
There you go. That's nice. So you can actually give each other critiques on how to get better?
She critiques me. I don't critique her.
Oh, of course
Julianne.
not. Because she's perfect. Of course. And for those of you that are on calls, you know you can record your calls, and then you can listen to them too. That's not a bad thing to do. Just listen to your calls to see how you're doing. That's always a great idea, especially if you're working on overcoming objections. It's good. Okay. Let's see. Who haven't I spoken? Janice, what are you hoping? What's your expectation of getting out of this?
A lot of the same things, the script practice, different ideas of how to get business. And yes, overcoming the hesitation of, I can talk to somebody about education all day long, but I think without having the years of real estate knowledge, I'm hesitant to, you don't know everything and probably never will. But just the hesitation to answer somebody's question because I don't know the answer.
Right. And the only way you can get good at that is by practicing.
Right. And I think it's going to force you into that. You have to do it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay. Others. Who haven't I gotten to? Mackenzie?
Yeah, I was just about to say mine would be the same thing as Janice and Millie, just like not wanting to say the wrong thing. So it kind of creates that hesitation in my mind where I'm like, I might not know the answer to that, so let me back off a little bit.
Okay.
That would be the biggest thing.
All right, that sounds good. So, show of hands, how many of you are currently registered? 1, 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 to 4 every Tuesday and Thursday, and then your coaching corners are Wednesdays and Fridays.
At any time?
Coach's Corner 2 to 3 on Wednesday and Friday, not 2 to 4.
Thank you. So the coaching corner is only an hour on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
From 2 to 3. It's a set time. And that's great because you can listen in and it's a dialogue between people. So, and you can be one of those people. So you can, I think they even have where you can like put in concerns in the chat bar, prepping up for it. And then they'll focus on one topic. For example, last time, one of the big things that people were struggling with, and this will resonate, is kids at home. How, while I'm dealing with the kids and their schedule and their school and my other spouse, how in the world can I get anything accomplished? So it was so much about your schedule in sticking to a schedule and getting a routine that works for you. So instead of thinking about what won't work, it's finding what will work. And let's face it, that hasn't changed any in the last couple of months. It just hasn't. Hey, Autherine, welcome.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
So what we've covered so far, Autherine, is we've talked about kind of an overview of the bold and what the expectation is, and that they need to go ahead and get into the Facebook page. We talked about ramp up and what we're going to be doing after bold, because our expectation is taking this stuff and moving it forward so that you guys have an amazing fall and amazing 2021. Okay. That we will be doing script partners, and we're going to be doing the shift book. So here's a question for you. Almost every single person on this call today mentioned that scripts are critical for you. So based on that, it makes sense, doesn't it, that we would go ahead and pair up with script partners at least for the next 2 weeks so that you have somebody to practice with. Does that make sense? You should be smiling. Yes. Yes? Okay, awesome. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll pair up script partners, and you can do one of two things. Let's talk about what that looks like. Autherine, you want to talk for a minute? I need to get something to drink. My throat's killing me.
Yes. Okay. So I know a couple of you guys on here already have scripts partners. I know that. And you are very experienced at scripting. So the idea of having a scripts partner is to practice with each other so you don't practice on your clients, right? And repetition that we have the same objections over and over again. Yeah? Okay, good. So you want to do scripting, I would say at least 5 days a week. Of course, everybody has a different schedule. Of course, with our new climate, there are moms and dads who are at home and they're homeschooling kids. So you make it work for yourself. When you're scripts practicing, ideally you want to text the person maybe ahead of time or the day before or whatever, just to say, hey, I want to work on this objection today. And when you're scripting, it's not a conversation about how's the dog, how's the kids, how's whatever. It's just ring, ring, hello, hey, and you give an objection, or you say, may I list with you? And your partner objects, and you work on that objection, right? Whatever it is you want to, and then you give some feedback, and the next person goes. You give feedback, and that's it. Does that make sense? So you can choose the script on whatever you want to do. It might be, let's say I'm calling FISBOs that day. You might want to script on FISBOs. Let's say I'm going on a listing presentation later on, or I'm doing a buyer's consultation. I might script around the listing presentation. In particular, I might script around the pricing if I know I'm going to have some pushback with the pricing. So you tailor your own sessions to whatever fits your needs that day, or something you know you should be working on. Like for me, I can't work on the listing presentation too much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's not bad to practice one for maybe a whole week, just until you get it down. So rather than say, oh, I'm going to work on FISBOs today. Oh, I'm going to work on, listing presentation. I'm going to work on buyer, and you're flip-flopping all around. Focus on one until you got it down, and you can do it without looking at paper. You know it. I mean, you could be anywhere and you're able to do it, and then focus on something else. That's when you know you've internalized it.
I just have a question really quick about working on the listing presentation. That's long. So that's not like, if we work on that every day, that's with the script partner, that's going to take, like, so do you have a suggestion of just like you just work on the objections, or I mean,
Yeah, one piece of it.
okay.
Yeah, a piece of the objection every day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The areas that you know you need to work on, but let's focus on that, not the whole thing. Break it into bite-sized pieces for sure.
Right.
Great
Like-
comment.
Like, yeah, like if you know you get beat out every time you go, you get beat out on the price and you end up overpricing, and then you're sitting with.
We're going to broadcast to anybody else. This is for your internal education. You do not need to disclose that you're recording. Okay?
What? I'm not clear on that question.
We were talking about recording yourself when you're in a, like when you're on the phone talking to people or calling.
Oh, okay.
And I
Okay.
said, record yourself so that you could listen back to see how you're doing and where you need to improve.
Yeah, okay.
So that was the conversation.
Okay, cool.
Okay. All right. Hey, Magda, we're glad to see you. Oh, and there she went. She was here. Oh, no, there she is. Hey.
You're mute.
You can't really see me, but because I have to hide my crew.
That's all right. It's totally okay. This is the world, right? So
Yeah.
are you, have you got, you're going to make sure that you've got a copy of Shift if you don't already, because we'll be reviewing that book in September and October. Ramp Up will start on September 1st and will go till October 27th, every Tuesday from 11 to 12. We're going to be reviewing the book. We're going to be changing up our script partners, and we're going to be having topics of discussion. And again, between now and then, if there's something that you say, wow, this is something I really need to get better at, then please let us know, because we will make sure that you have registered and that you've gotten onto the Facebook page, because that's where you're going to find it. Download your materials and make sure you've got a clean notebook to keep all your notes in. Please be careful about the chat off to the side. Just ignore that. I'm even thinking about putting like a piece of paper up or something so that I can't see the chat bar, because it was so distracting to me. And just focus on the instruction. And then if it possible, jump on for that 1 hour on the Coaches Corners on Wednesdays and Fridays, because that's where people saw a tremendous amount of value.
Oh, tremendous.
Okay? Because it's really more like one-on-one coaching, like you're getting in a way, but you're able to be in on it and see it. So you learn a lot from that opportunity. Okay? Oh, and Regina, great point. So I did this with my MREA. I haven't done it yet, and it's like less than $20. Yeah, like that. So they'll take this and they'll make it like that. So it's so much easier for you to keep open and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. Okay. I did that with my MREA, and I love it that way because it stays open and it's just easier to use, because these are more like manuals that you read over and over and over again. I think this will be my 4th time reading Shift, and I've read the MREA like 6 times. So the more you read it, the better it is, and the more you learn from it. So that's very cool. What other questions or concerns do you guys have about what we're going to be going
information and thinking, okay, I'm going to get through that next, tomorrow, and it did not happen. So
no, you have to time block it. You have to. There's no other way to get it done. Gary Keller says it's not about selling real estate. It's about sticking to a schedule. And this is a great example of that, right? Okay. Other questions or concerns? All right. So Amani, you have been writing down everybody that's here, right? So what I need from you is, if you're on this call and you have not yet committed to Bold or not signed up, you need to do it like today. You need to sign up. Once you have signed up,
And I have 2 available slots left for free Bold, right? So if you're not coaching with Julianne, you're not coaching with me, and you're not coaching, period, I'd like to have a conversation with you. because I've got 2 slots left and I'm giving them away before ball starts tomorrow. And I will tell you what that entails. So it's a win-win for both of us.
Cool. Sounds great. Great opportunity. So make sure that you're that you are. Oh, look at now. I've got 2 sets of glasses. Good grief! One day I've had 2 sets up on my head and one in my face. It's like, seriously, it's crazy. We will set up our script partners and we will have them to you by tomorrow with a list of everybody's phone numbers so that you guys can connect and get a time frame of when you guys are going to talk. And let's keep the script partner for 2 weeks and see how that goes for us, right? And then we'll switch it up and do another 2. Also, please keep in mind, I am here as a resource for you. I will be taking Bold with you as well. Authorine has been through Bold. She just took the last one. So either one of us, if you have a question, concern, comment, come to us with it and let us help you, okay? Questions? I'm excited. Here's what I envision. I envision that our Bold ramp up group is going to do so much business between now and the end of October, moving into November and December, that everybody's going to say, what's going on with that group? Because we are going to be kicking butt and taking names, and they're all going to wonder what we did. And they're going to wish that they hadn't missed out on this opportunity. Don't you agree?
Could I just say something, Julianne? I read something today.
Yeah.
I read something today that part of the next COVID stimulus package is folks will be able to take $100,000 out of their 401ks without paying a penalty.
Wow.
If they've been impacted by COVID, and they're pretty broad in the definition of being impacted by COVID, which means it could lend itself to a whole new market of buyers out there, with the low interest rates. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, there could be huge opportunities out there. I didn't read the whole article yet, but it's compelling.
It is. So between that and 24 million foreclosures that are on hold right now that will be released eventually, that are going to hit the market, there are some opportunities for us that we need to know what to do and how to do it. So
are the foreclosures, what are those, the forbearances?
Everything's on hold right now. And the number's around 24, not just in Georgia, that's throughout the US, but there's 24 million out there that right now are just waiting. So there's going to be lots of opportunities, and you all are in the right place. Anything else you want to add, Authorine?
No, I can't. I'm excited for you guys. Oh, yes. Here's the thing that I read this recently, and it's so true. There are millions of unmotivated multi-millionaires walking around, right? They don't need motivation. They just need to be committed, and they are. So there are days when you are not going to feel it at all. You just want to curl up in a ball. Just remember your commitment and just do it. Get through it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, my preacher said yesterday, you don't have to have all the answers. You just have to have clarity about what you're doing now. And it's very clear what we're doing now, right?
Yes.
We know exactly what we've got to do. We've just got to keep our head down and just focused on what we're going to do. We don't know what else is going to happen. Doesn't matter. We know exactly what to do. Okay? Questions? Comments? Super. Krishna, I need you to text me your number by the end of October. I got your number for end of August. I need your number by the end of October. Okay? And then anybody else that joins us, make sure that I've got your numbers for the end of August and then through the end of October. Okay? Awesome. Go be bold. I will see you soon, okay? All right. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.